I hope that you all enjoyed my last video, learning a little bit about my story and why I'm so excited to go on this program with you guys and help you out. Here in this video, I did want to touch base on some more just intro stuff. So as we go through the program, each week that we have, we'll have a different topic or a different theme that's basically designed in helping overall with hormonal health. There's a lot of things, whether it be thyroid issues or adrenal fatigue. A lot of these things that we're going to cover will help with almost any type of hormonal imbalance. So a couple different things will go into specifics, but for the most part, we're just going to focus on having all around healthy hormones, learning what they are, and bettering our bodies into a better place. So for this week, we're not really going to make any nutritional changes or supplements or lifestyle changes this week. We're just going to kind of get in the flow of it and learn some stuff. So I first wanted to start off by talking about what a hormone is, which I'm sure we've all heard the term before. But basically a hormone is a chemical messenger produced by glands inside of the body. So we have what's called our endocrine system. And again, that is a group of those glands that I mentioned that influence how we do almost everything. But a couple examples are hormones that influence our sleep, our hunger, our metabolism, growing from younger to older age, reproduction, all of these different things. We have our sex hormones that we'll talk about. So progesterone, estrogen, things like that. Follicle stimulating hormone, all these different things. There's many more, but those are just some examples. We have our adrenals, which if you guys have ever heard the term adrenal fatigue, basically has to do with stress, cortisol, things like that. And then we also have our thyroid hormones, which a lot of you may be here for as well, and hypothalamic hormones, which kind of start all being produced at the brain. So much of our body is dependent on these hormones. But unfortunately, when things in our body suffer or we're not properly nourished, things like that, hormonal health tends to go because it's not really, our reproduction is super important to the human body, but it's basically one of the first things that's going to shut down, or any of these different hormones may try to shut down in order to just keep us alive. Because again, our body always prioritizes keeping our brain functioning, our heart beating, blood flowing, things like that. And when it thinks of like our sex hormones, that's just extra for the body as well. So our body, when it is in a place that it feels out of balance or unsafe, our hormones unfortunately will start to dwindle. And then, as I mentioned in the last video, when that happens, it really starts to become a problem for us. And again, that's why a lot of us are probably here. Or again, with age, some things just change, and there's nothing wrong with that either, but it can bring about some uncomfortable symptoms. So I'm going to try to help you guys to alleviate that as much as I can. Also, we have, I know I mentioned the sex hormones, but we have when we're cycling at that age or age range, we have all these different fluctuations in our hormones. So there's a couple different points in your cycle. So I guess just little cycle one-on-one. Again, if you're still cycling, not cycling, maybe your daughter's about to get her period for the first time, you can educate her a little bit. But we have these different phases in our cycle. So technically, your cycle does not refer just to the days that are your period. Your cycle is from day one of your period is when it begins, and then the last day of your cycle is the last day before your next period begins. So we have our menstrual phase of our cycle. That's usually, again, for the person, anywhere from 3 to 5 days. And then after that, we go into our follicular phase. So that, again, everyone's a little bit different, but that lasts basically up until ovulation, the ovulation phase, which is like 3 to 5 days as well. And then after that, we have our luteal phase, which is about 12 to 14 days ish. And during all these different phases, our hormones, different things, estrogen is rising and falling, follicle stimulating hormone is rising and falling, luteinizing hormone is peaking when we're ovulating. After we ovulate, then we start to get progesterone in there. All these different things are happening. So there's definitely a lot that goes into it, and that makes for a lot of places for error in our body, and a lot of places where things can easily get out of whack, because again, all these different hormones need different nutrients and things like that to stay afloat pretty much. So that's a little bit about basic hormone function that I hope is helpful for you guys, just to kind of move forward knowing exactly what is a hormone, what are we talking about here. And again, we're going to go into a lot of other things on some different specific weeks as well. So stay tuned for our next video. We're going to be talking about the gut connection to hormones and also the metabolic connection. So that will be up next.